this is picking up from our last conversation, really.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to have a conversation not about So I was going to say not about immigration, but about illegal immigration.
Yeah, let's be really defined on this, because I'm mega excited for this conversation.
Yeah.
Can we say slavery?
Not yet. No. Hold on.
Hold your horses.
No, I don't think it is that. I think as long as you've got the correct
I know, we're aligned on that.
place.
But don't we need to define what we're going to cover?
Yeah, okay. So I know what's going wrong, by the way, with immigration.
And you've chose to drop it now?
I think I know what's going on. Yeah. Have I not? I thought I called you and told you. I know the answer. I figured it out. So check this out. We've got... So here's the difficulty. And so the fun thing about the immigration debate is that I get to see a particular side of it because of the flavour.
All right, okay.
Right?
Yeah, I missed that.
So I get to see a particular side of it. So when you've got people shouting in the streets, get them out, there ain't no black in the Union Jack. All right,
Yeah,
I feel that embarrassment and the humiliation of it and so where is my home thing. That is an instinct, right?
Yeah, I get that.
But so here's what I'm trying to sit with, especially since our last conversation, right, was kind of what I was mentioning upstairs. Just because somebody is saying something in a manner I don't like, or if they've allowed their frustration to boil over to the point where their communication style has gone off the radar.
Yeah.
Does that mean they've got nothing to say? Right? Because if people are saying immigration's an issue, and then somebody else comes along and says illegal immigration is the issue, the first guy's not like, oh yeah, that's it. You're like, no, immigration's the issue. This is what the guy said on the radio. The guy said it on the radio, and what he was saying was, it sounded outrageous. It's like, I just want all black and brown people out of the country. And then the radio host, all he did was, this is what I mentioned the last.
Yeah, I actually heard this.
All he did was try to make this guy look dumb.
Yeah.
Right? And I couldn't escape from the fact that the guy sounded so earnest. He was just like, no, but what it is, and he was trying to talk about, the public services. He was trying to talk about, he just wasn't articulate enough.
Poorly educated.
Right. But the host just made him look dumb, right? He said, look, so when
it makes great TV, right?
Yeah. So when you go to the hospital and there's a black or a brown person, you don't want them to help you. And he's like, no, of course I do. And I was like, so you don't mean all black and brown? He was like, no, I don't mean, no, I don't. You know what? You know what? Right. So that just kept happening. Anyway, point is this. What is the complaint that he's trying to make, right, about immigration in general? Because it's only ever gone up. Immigration has only ever gone up.
Yeah.
Right? The government's own... Yeah. So the government's own policy advisors are saying, kick it around as much as you want, mate. Don't ever touch it. Because for every 10,000 people that come into the UK, $500 million is added to the government's coffers.
But wait there. We're skipping a step here.
Are we?
Yeah, definitely. So let's take it way back.
Okay.
Back to the radio dude, right?
Yeah.
The times he's talking about is when it's white males ruled the world. This is what he's talking about, right? Okay. White males ruled UK, ruled England.
Yeah.
This is what he's talking about. Now, England, as he's referring to, is renowned to be a Christian country.
Yeah.
Right? So if you have Christians, they're all, technically speaking, aligned. Okay, there's some idiots, there's some divvies, there's some great people, but there is a belief system within the land of England.
Mm-hmm.
So what he's referring to is, if you bring in, say, a Muslim from another country that has a different belief to a Christian, there's going to be a difference. And this difference goes back to a child who has no knowledge, less than 1 year old, going, There's a blue circle, put it into the blue hole. There's a red square, put it into the red square. So now you've got two different beliefs, okay? Well, one belief says live a good life and within those rules. The other belief says live a good life in these rules. Who's right or wrong, right? Big question mark.
Yeah.
But this religion says we need to do this and a lot of it, but do less of that because that's bad. So if those two religions are going to cross, don't you think by putting more religions together, you're going to pollinate, you're going to cross paths at some point? So then when white males ruled England way back when, and I'm just going to quickly carry out here, this is not me talking, this is just a fact. And we start and get, say, different cultures coming in, not just Muslims, we've got all different types, which is fantastic. When they start getting into power, of which that's what eventually happened and does happen today, you can't be wound up by what rules then get enforced. Because bear in mind, the rules will be persuaded by the culture or of those who are voting, for example. You know, so if you've got a white English culture and they're like, I ain't voting because my vote don't going to count anyway. But yet you've got, let's say, a different culture. I keep using Muslims, it's terrible. But let's use Muslims, and they vote because they know they need to get, the more votes they get, the more power. They're the smart ones. They know if we vote, we'll get in power. The guy on the radio is speaking on behalf of these ignorant white people that don't vote. They're going to get, it's going to go from white male ruling to Muslim ruling. So that switch has happened. So the culture has changed. But the people talking today are still talking as if England was way back when it was ruled by white people. So now that's a fact. These policies are changing, and then they're changing today to suit whoever you are. Not necessarily religion. They're just changing to be fair. Who's to say today is actually right now?
So here's the thing. So this you're communicating about the fear of that guy on the radio and his crew.
And his perception of...
But the thing is that it doesn't bear out. So the culture of the society is changing.
Yeah.
The culture of leadership isn't. The culture of leadership, it's not as though...
Well, there's a question mark.
It's not as though Rishi Sunak came into power and implemented loads of Hindu policies. That didn't happen.
No, but so like...
But do you see what I mean? That didn't happen because...
No, but I don't think it's a... There is a question mark on it's not man who's ruling, irrelevant to religion.
Yeah.
So I've heard the story that London is not actually part of UK, right? Because it's like it's not even ran by UK. And strangely, what's interesting is of all the houses in UK, not that this is a problem, I keep having to caveat myself here, but the majority of the properties owned in London are owned by Indians.
From an investment point of view.
Yeah, from an investment perspective. And when you look at that, you go, okay, so, I mean, look, that's fantastic.
I don't know that that's true, by the way.
Let's say,
but
we'll fact check that somewhere.
But from an investment point of view, London is an investment centre. So if you have money and you have a lot of it, that's where you're going to shove it, because there's a lot. It's also a lot of Russians that own properties in London, a lot of Chinese own properties in London. There's a lot of
different cultures, different
investment.
Yeah. Now, the question I have at that point is like, okay, so if you own something, you can fight and defend it.
Yeah.
Right. So when this guy's talking about, like, I just want these gay people out because I just want our land to be great again. That's all what you say is, I want our land to be great again. Something's not right today.
Yeah.
He's using the wrong metrics to blame.
Well, he doesn't understand. Yeah, so that's correct. He's using the wrong metrics, but that's because you've got a difficulty with clarity of thought, because people are coming into the country and things seem to be getting worse, right? And you're like, isn't it easier just to blame those people? Right? It's easier because it's convenient because you're like, okay, but people are coming in. Those are numbers. And the GP told me that because there's a lot more people coming in, and you're like, well, it's not us that are having the kids because we only have the two. But they seem to have a lot of kids, and the Irish guys seem to have a lot of kids, so maybe it's their fault, right? And then you've got people who, are in positions of some version of authority, media authority, that like to hype these things up, right? But here's the problem. For every 10,000 immigrants, legal immigrants that come into this country, 500 million is added to the government's coffers, which equates to about 50,000 per person, because 70 to 80% of immigrants come here to work.
Yeah.
Right? So they're employed. And even though a lot of them are low-skilled labour, whatever.
You're going to get that in any.
You get
residents.
30 to 40% that start their own businesses. So they generate a fortune in revenue, right? Employment, this, that, and the other. Whoever they employ, whatever. But they generate a fortune in revenue that averages out at about 50,000 per person. Now, that's a great thing. For who? Because that money doesn't come back into the NHS. It doesn't come back into the education system, doesn't come back into the policing and all the rest of the public services, right? That money isn't seen. So where is that money going? That
Black hole.
Well, that black hole is going off to pay back the debt, but the bank debts that the UK has. So every time they take money from the Bank of England, that prints the money, thank you very much, they have to repay that to balance the economy.
Yeah.
So that's why they keep on, the immigration is such a great policy, because we can take that money and give it there, take the money, give it there, take them. So the people that want things, that need things, the people that are struggling, that need help, so they're going, all right, so we're not getting any benefit. But here's the thing. The immigrant populations are actually doing better and better and better. And that you can see the frustration, right? Because, okay, maybe it's a work ethic thing, maybe it isn't. Look what happened with the Europeans. When the laws were created about free movement of workers, there was a conversation about should benefits be given to EU migrants. And you're like, no, we shouldn't give benefit to EU migrants because they should be coming here to work. You're like, all right. But when the free movement of worker policy, benefits were made available to the migrants. Why? Because none of them were coming over here to sit on benefits. But moving from land A to land B is terrifying. So you need the security net that should I fail, at least I'm entitled to benefits.
Yeah.
They weren't applying for benefits. They were working like dogs.
Oh, they were grafting.
They were working like machines.
What changed?
What do you mean?
Well, okay, so I've got several, I know a lot of Polish lads, right? Came over here grafting through the trades. And the conversation of those lads today are, mate, I'm going to Russia. Because right over there it's the land of opportunity. And these are Polish lads. They are wanting to go to Russia. It's much better than it is in UK right now. And they're genuinely debating it. Don't you find the masses of people are quite normal? They're quite like, and how do you find normal? They just want to get their head down, arse up, earn a living, provide their family, and have a good time.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a lot of things that are happening. There's a question mark in the back of my mind, which is shelved somewhere, that says, is religion causing this problem?
No.
Right. Humour me. Not
Sure.
that I agree or disagree. Humour me. There's loads of religions, right? How many religions do you know of that believe we're going to take over this world by natural progression, not through war and not through physical violence?
I don't know that any of them do. I don't know that they think that they'll take over the world. I think they think God's going to... So in the Islamic theology, as far as I understand it, I'm no scholar. As far as I understand it, Jesus is going to come back, right? And then he's going to take care of it all.
So what I'm saying
right?
is...
So it's not like... So things are just going to get worse.
Yeah.
In theology, it's not about taking over. It's that Jesus will come back.
So my point being, there's that many different variances,
Yeah.
right, in religion, they are causing conflicts.
No, man causes conflict.
Yes, I get that.
Because religion is either true or it isn't. If it's not from
Yeah,
God,
but what's
there's
it
still a guy
been-
there. But if you look at football teams, they'll fight for anything. Man will fight for anything. Man is a frustrated being.
Yeah, but don't you think this is funny? What?
We're tribal, bro.
Right. So England created football, right?
Yeah.
The home of football is in England,
Yeah.
Sheffield, and for all you followers, and in that it's a patch of grass
Yeah.
with a square box around it, 2 nets, simple game. There's not a mosque nearby. There's not a church nearby.
Yeah.
Okay. It then becomes this great game, and eventually it gets across the globe. And it goes into other plots of land. And the players in other plots of land around the globe
Yeah.
come from all different types of religious backgrounds.
Yeah.
So therefore, we then cater, that one simple game is catered for in everywhere.
Yeah.
Right up until it's played on a beach in Brazil, where there's a beach and 2 T-shirts at either end defining the goal. Simple game, made complicated by religion. Stay with me.
Is it?
Well, no, it's not been made complicated, but we've now had to cater for many religion.
Meaning what? Cater.
So now we're putting mosques and we're putting shrines and we're putting places of worship within a stadium.
football. That's all right.
Fantastic. We're putting eatery, so restaurants. So we're catering
So
for
it's just
fans.
it's just turning into a different thing. So instead of just being a football pitch, it's now being an event.
Commercialised. It's
Right,
now,
right,
you know,
right,
it's a
right.
leisure thing, isn't it? Right. So
Yeah.
it's absolutely fantastic. But the point I'm making is like way back when in England, where it was created,
Yeah.
that wasn't on the radar.
Yeah, it
Not
wasn't.
that that's a problem.
Yeah, but
but
what-
it wasn't. It was created in England.
But why?
No shops.
Dude, I love you. But why is that? Why is that bit the problem?
No, it's
What
not the
happened-
problem.
What about the football hooligans
What I'm
bashing each
saying
other
is-
up because they've got a different T-shirt on?
Right. Stay with me. Stay with me.
Oh God.
We've took something so simple,
Yeah.
right, and it's then gone and spread because it's a fantastic game, right? People have changed this, but what is the key defining factor? Because yes, people, I like to say people fuck shit up. I love that
Yeah.
written on my gravestone. But people have acted and caused this. The great thing is that we've catered for every eventuality. We've
Yeah.
put car parks next to stadiums. We've built seats in stadiums so that people can watch it of the masses. We've put shops there for merch. We've put mosques. We've put changing room facilities. We've put a first aid. We've catered for absolutely everything now.
Yeah.
So this game can be loved throughout the globe.
Yeah.
It's televised across the globe,
Yeah.
but it still causes conflict.
Which bit?
Which bit?
Which bit? Where's the conflict coming?
Well,
from?
there's conflict because there's 2 sides in there, right? So
Yeah.
there's
So it wasn't
A
the
or B.
mosque that caused the conflict.
No,
was
no,
it?
no, it's not the
But Or the
mosque.
first aid place.
No. But what I'm saying is, it's a simple game that was started in UK that had nothing else on the agenda.
Yeah.
Right? It's evolved. It's evolved into a beautiful game across the globe. Even now, places in the UK have mosques, seats. I'm not pointing out mosques. I'm pointing out that it's got everything catered to the rest of the world. So even in UK, where it started, there is no problem about catering for other cultures in that beautiful game.
Yeah.
Right? So 0 issues. Yet we're still finding conflict. And the nature of some people, like the Guardian Radio, is still on the blame to, I want blacks out, or I want these out, I want, you know what I mean? What's the cause? Why is he saying what he's saying?
Because he's struggling.
Right, I think he's got lack of education.
He
Going
does
back
have a lack of education.
When you go back to Charlie,
but he is struggling.
of course he's struggling because, like, who is providing facts here? Who? Who's putting facts on our table? Because immigration's a great thing. It's
Yeah.
like football stadiums. Oh, did we define that as immigration? Because we've gone from a simple patch of grass across the globe. We've catered for it everywhere. So anyone of any religious background can play that game.
It's not about Kate. So the commercial aspect of a football team isn't quite the same scenario because maybe it is because the reason you're catering for all these different things like merch, and now there's like some of them have a spa and they're this, that.
Yeah.
The reason it's turned into all
Hotels,
this
everything.
is to attract more people to it. So you want, it's not like, oh, we'll put a chaplaincy in a stadium that doesn't need one. No, they won't waste the space. They just won't. But if for example, in London, where you've got actually different cultures, actually they want to be part of the team. They want to support Crystal Palace or whoever.
Yeah.
Right. So it makes sense. Now it's starting to make sense.
Yeah, but
because
this is
you
the
want
evolution of the game, though, isn't it?
Right. But that so far, that bit makes sense. Now, if you're a little frustrated chap from the radio and you see a little chaplaincy or whatever, you're like, oh, what are they doing? But that's just venting a frustration. That's not
Yeah,
the
that's
cause of
change.
that's not the cause of the conflict.
Yeah. So what's the
Right.
cause?
But the cause is the cause. So let's go back to immigration being a great thing for the government. What's it doing for the people there?
Right.
Right.
I'll answer this in a layman term, right? Using the NHS.
Yeah.
I come back down to people. So if you've got 10 people lined up across the globe, right? 10 CVs, 10 surgeons, right? I think you actually said this. You're not going to pick the guy who's the best for the job because of the colour of his skin. Or are you going to pick the person who you want the colour of his skin, but he's the least qualified and the least caring?
Well, that's problematic. Yeah. So you choose the best.
Of course
The
you're going
idea
to
is
choose the best. This is why immigration is fantastic for UK, because we actually get the pick of the best. What I question is, why the hell is the best coming to work in UK? When the UK is actually treating everybody like that.
Well, so you're now seeing a tide shift, by the way, in that truth.
100%.
Right. So people are no longer
Attracted to
looking
UK.
at the UK as if it's this great thing.
Reversed.
But there's a number of reasons for it. One, and it's not fair to blame the anti-immigration feeling because that's come from somewhere.
Yeah, so
right?
this is the
And it's
question,
not
what
just
is
that-
it?
It's not just the shaking of the jar, right? Because shaking the jar helps divert attention,
Yes.
right? But there's a reason you're diverting attention in the first place. The reason you're diverting attention in the first place is because you don't want people to realize that we're not bringing in immigration to benefit society. We're bringing in immigration because we need to pay off this big black hole, right? We've been borrowing money from the Bank of
Let's say if
England.
that's the case, at what cost?
What are the costs of society? Now, here's the thing.
Don't you think it's the cost of the UK?
Yeah, for sure.
So what
For
does,
sure.
what does UK look like?
So it's at the cost of the UK society. And what the UK looks like wouldn't matter if everyone loved one another. It wouldn't matter if everyone was everyone. It wouldn't matter if... Because, so in the beginning, before, like I lived in Wales for ages.
Oh, I didn't
right?
know that.
Yeah, 4
Whereabouts?
years. At Aberystwyth.
North, south?
But north, I guess. I wasn't looking at the map.
No, we're Yorkshire, bro. We're North.
So,
Northern.
but I went there and I was anticipating, because I was young, but I was anticipating everyone to just be an uncomfortable place because it's not a mixed cultures, this, that, and the other. I had the greatest time, and everyone was friendly and fluffy. Everyone was friendly and fluffy.
Wait there. Pause.
It's not the people.
Wait there. So
People don't have a problem with it. It's the point.
we're talking like this,
Yeah.
right? I remember, and this was Cardiff,
Yeah.
right? So I get in your van, and you're going to go and fit some bathroom showrooms out, and it was in City Plumbing and whatnot. Like that. Jumps in the van, and I'm all over the shop, and I used to buzz, try and do as many as I can in the week and get, on price and whatnot. Anyway, one of them were in Cardiff, Wales. So gets into Cardiff, Wales, and I'm like, hey guys, you all right? Listen, I'm a little bit lost as before sat-navs and the TomToms came out. And I'm like, I can't find this branch anywhere. So I goes into this plumbing shop, waits my turn, waits line, and I just wanted directions. I'm like, hey guys, you all right? I'm just looking for City Plumbing, can't find it on map and that. I went, don't know, never seen it. No, not round here, pal.
You mean they didn't like you?
Didn't like me.
Because you weren't from Wales.
Because they knew I was English, because of my accent, right? So I'm like, oh, okay. Cheers for your help anyway, see you. I comes out the showroom, gets in the van, and I couldn't do a U-turn, so I had to go down the road and turn left. It was there. It was literally
But
left and left.
But this is the different. So this is the different thing. What I'm saying is that it's not automatic. England doesn't have the best relationship with its neighbours.
Right, so
So
we're
they're not
looking
going to
for
like you because you've been bullying them. Not
so
you.
Yeah. No, but we're looking for the why here.
Okay.
Right? Now, we said people,
Yeah, people are all right.
but people fuck shit up.
Yes, they do.
They have nothing to do with why they hate England. I have nothing to do why England probably bullied them. But yet, two strangers meet, wanting help.
Yeah, but
right?
that's the same as the
that's how
guy
they
that
trap me.
everyone's calling far right, the radio guy. That's the same reason as him being angry at me
We're back to the question, what's far right?
when we don't know one another.
Yeah.
Right. But he's just frustrated. This guy's frustrated because he runs his little poxy plumbing shop. His missus doesn't really like him that much. He's having a hard time. His life is wall to wall, whatever it is. It ain't fun. You know what I mean? It's uphill. And this place.
It's not my fault.
Right. But he's frustrated, right? And then all of his mates down the pub were talking about, the time. Do you remember when the time when England came in, they called us sheepshaggers, and
His blood's boiling.
Right, so he's mad. So when he sees you coming, he's like, jog on.
Yeah.
I'm not helping you. Do you know what I mean? Same as if I went into a place where they had a particular issue, usually in big cities,
Yeah.
right? Because familiarity is problematic, right? But if I went in, they wouldn't help me.
Because then we're going, what about the Scottish Independent Party? They are actively still wanting to split from the UK, England.
That's not a surprise.
Right. So what we're establishing is things are things, countries are countries, religions are religions.
But people are upset.
People. Why?
Because they've been injured. Because they've been taken advantage of. Okay.
So
but the
who's
question is,
pushing it?
Who's taking advantage of who?
Who's
is the
rattling?
point.
Yeah, who's rattling the jar?
To whose benefit is it that radio guy isn't happy with the black guy? Who benefits from it?
Well, their TV show is going to benefit, or their radio show.
Well, the radio show does benefit from it, but the government also benefits
causing
from
hatred.
the fact that the government and those in power benefit from you lot squabbling because you're not looking at me.
Yeah.
Right? So if I'm using money inappropriately, right, doing whatever I want with it, as long as you two think it's each other's fault, it's the same as that image, that meme I sent you, right? There's a guy there who's hoarding everything. He's got all the cookies.
The three guys.
And he's got the one working man there and the one black guy there, and he goes, "Careful, mate, I think that he wants your cookie." And he's like, "Yeah, he does, doesn't he?"
And he's getting angry at the guy.
Right? There's a sociology experiment designed by a Russian student for his thesis. His thesis was a small minority of people with a small bit of knowledge can manipulate a large group of people that have no knowledge.
Yeah.
Right? It's a game called Werewolves. And you hand out some cards. 2 people in the group are werewolves. And 1 person is the victim. Right? So that person dies. The rest of the group don't know who killed him. They don't know who the werewolves are.
Yeah.
And then these 2 people just manipulate the rest of the group. And 9 times out of 10, the werewolves win. No matter how many people you put in there, the werewolves win. Even though there's only 2 of them and there's tons of other people. Right? Who are the werewolves? Who's shaking the jar? Now, illegal immigration is a different topic, but this is a problem. The fact that immigration is financially beneficial to the country, immigration is a net benefit from a working perspective, it's a net benefit to the country. But if the communities themselves don't feel those benefits, if they can't see the benefits themselves, then the people that are struggling the most will only look at their neighbor who's also struggling the most, and if they're of a different color, their cultures are pretty similar, and they're going to clash, and then that's where you get a problem. That's
like where my frustration comes from with it, and I have to completely pull myself away from it. Is like it's manipulation.
Yeah.
Right. So communities do it all the time. I'm going to give you an example here of what happened in my local community. We're going to go to kids football. So kids football presentation evening, and the club decided. The club got an application request from an up-and-coming councillor saying, "Hey, we're looking at doing some work in the community. Do you mind if we attend your presentation evening? We're happy to help you present your medals to your kids and whatnot." Photo opportunity, innit? Giving back in the community. So they're working these non-educated people who are there to enjoy their sons and daughters win awards at their football presentation evening. But yet on stage, here you are, you've got someone at work using the event for their political advantage, right? Unbeknown to those innocent children, parents, right? So said person arrives on stage. It was a woman. She drops on stage. Not that that is any relevance, by the way, but you'll get to the point. She gets on stage and she's handed out his trophies. Well done. Picture. Everything's all happy days. Next thing we see next week, up and coming, politician, a very young up and coming politician, gives back to local community. You can imagine the headline, can't you? And we're like, what? We normally have a footballer. Why is she there? Kind of thing. That was the first question. No problem. It's whatever. But now we understand the club's being used as a political stunt. And then you realise, so that now person is associated to a political party. Now it's starting to ring doorbells here. So all those people in there have been drilled in there. It's a Labour candidate. Why don't you get behind this Labour candidate? Look what this Labour candidate's doing for us. You should vote for this Labour candidate. Well, that's manipulation now because no one in that room anticipated voting, say, Labour, right? But yet this Labour person's in there working their magic. Bear in mind, there was elderly people within that room, all clapping. They're clapping their daughters and sons, right? That same candidate was elected into power, done nothing from nowhere, beat the opposition Conservative, who was doing a fantastic job trying to reopen the airport, and he was just a very typical guy, working class, jumped into power because he wanted to make positive change. So he was telling people what needs to happen. Didn't mind calling a spade, saying that's wrong, political thing, whatever. And he was sending the right messages. Stay with me. This new person's coming out of nowhere. No one knows her from Adam, but she wants to do well. So she's working, the crap. She's doing what she needs to do to get into power. All of a sudden, she's been voted in. Out of nowhere. The experienced guy's gone. See you later. New woman has been voted in. So question mark, who's voted her in? Do they actually know what she stands for? Do they know what they were voting out? I don't think they do because it's poorly educated. I think she was manipulated. She was manipulating her way in. Now, that's a theory of mine, not a fact. We've learned recently, that same person has just voted for removing the allowance.
The winter fuel allowance.
The winter fuel allowance. Now, the question I've got is, for all the people who voted her in, did they truly know her? Do you know what I mean? That's just happened. That's manipulation. So who's actually checking the cookie jar? Does everyone actually know what's going off, or are we just running blind here?
So so we're starting to steer into a different. Should we finish the immigration thing?
Yeah, because we're drifting there.
Because the winter fuel thing.
I want to go into the slavery. So I'm so adamant.
Stop calling it slavery because it's actually a good idea.
Go for it. Right.
All right.
All right. Rewind.
So immigration itself. People need to feel the benefit of it so that they can love one another. They can love what's happening. They can see the financial benefit, and then everyone can be happy together. That's fine. All right, let's move along.
For immigration, we're talking like doctors. We're talking and the best of the best.
And anyone, farm workers, anyone.
Yeah.
Right, because it's a net benefit because people come into work.
Yeah,
right?
and they're paying the taxes.
Yeah,
but problem is we're not receiving the benefit.
We're not receiving the benefit. If we're not going to receive the benefit, then it's just frustrating. Right.
So where's the win?
How do we get this resolved?
No, I suppose if we're to define a win on immigration, just so everyone can be aligned, the win for immigration is that everybody residing in the country who's receiving immigration is benefiting from day-to-day things. Is that fair to say?
You have to find a way and see. Here's the problem, and this is what the economists and the rest of the government for the last 50 years will say, well, we haven't been able to find a way, mate. But we have to find a way to, fix this black hole that you've got with the banks, fine. But you can't underinvest in the NHS. You can't underinvest in police. You can't have this austerity madness with the NHS where they end up getting investment that's below inflation. You know, we've got an aging population. We've got a more demanding population. You've got an aging infrastructure. And you're going to invest less into it. Well, I can see the writing on the wall from here.
Yeah, but certain budgets have been coming down, like military budget. The military spend budget has been coming down, depleting. Meaning, we're dropping defences. This it's a good thing. It's not hostile. Why do we need military? We've got immigration. I understand that kind of concept. We don't need to fight. Everyone's going to do well. We're all becoming very equal. I get that. So there must have been military budgets coming down. We must be saving something. So surely that would go towards clearing the black hole. Or has it been reallocated?
I don't know where it's gone.
The point is, can we trust anybody in any government
I don't think
to financial control?
So let's skip over. We'll come back to illegal immigration in a second because it's a good idea. But you've raised the winter fuel thing, and I can't not talk about it.
We can come back to this one if you want.
I can't not talk it because you want to talk about cultures, races, this, that, and the other, reason why people fight. Now, 200 odd MPs voted for this winter fuel cut, right? Now, they're not all men. They're men and women. They're not all white. They're white and brown and black. And they're of different religions. They all did this thing, right? There's no division between white, black, this, that, and the other. There is a division between us and them, right? Now, I don't want to do the ad hominem thing, having personal attacks against Keir Starmer or this person or that person, because they all made this vote. They all did for various reasons.
When we're saying they, are we saying Labour?
No, we're
candidates?
saying. I just want to say politicians. I don't want to say Labour, this, that, and the other. I can't 100% see the difference between Labour and Conservative. I know that there are individuals in both camps that are phenomenal.
Do you know why we have to say Labour?
Why?
Because they, rightly or wrongly, I know what you're doing, and you're right. However, Conservatives didn't have it on their radar. Lib Dems didn't have it on their radar. Reform didn't have it on their radar. Only Labour have this on their radar. Now, they didn't just have it on their radar as, we've seen a black hole, we need to react. They had it on their radar before they was elected in.
All right, let's say Labour.
It has to be Labour. So the people voted
Let's
Labour
say Labour
in.
for now, if you like.
And they are Labour candidates.
But I don't think I don't.
But we're not using that as a narrative.
So we're going to come back to a humanitarian question, this, that, and the other. But the problem is this. Those politicians that voted for this, right? So a lot is being said about difficult decisions have to be made because there's a £22 billion black hole, right? Right. Now.
This was made before that black hole was even found.
So that 22 billion, by the way, what is the purpose? You've just come, you as a new party have come into power and you've just started a national wealth fund and you've assigned, 9 billion to that? You've also created a new, or going to create a new nationalised energy service. And you've assigned, 10 billion to that? Or 6 to 10 billion, something like that? So there's your 22.
And there's a lot of pay rises.
There's your money. Yeah, there's your money there. So what's the 22 billion black hole you're talking about? Anyway, let's imagine there was a black hole. It didn't just turn up out of nowhere. Don't pretend you didn't know it existed. There are cross-party economists that tell you where the money is. 22 billion. If that actually is there, that's fraud. Why isn't no one going to prison for it then? 22 billion. That's been robbed of the people.
Because they're all at it.
So here's the problem. Difficult decisions always have to be made when you're trying to balance budgets. But there's a difference. And so if we're trying to be fair to people, let's be as fair as we can and say, they don't know the difference between difficult and cruel. They've forgotten that all isn't fair in love and war.
Yeah.
Right? It isn't, the whole, it's not personal, it's just business. No, that's not true. It is personal. All isn't fair. That isn't a difficult decision you've made. That's an evil decision. That's a cruel decision. Right? Think about the reality of a pensioner living alone on the borders of that £13,000 limit of income. They were already living on £1 a day trying to survive. They were already in that situation. That guy or girl, they're already struggling with whatever physical ailments they have. They're already struggling with fear on a regular basis. They're already struggling with the emotional and physical reality of their daily existence, of loneliness, of feeling abandoned. And now you take away their ability to heat their homes.
Well,
the point is this.
Have you seen the stat, by the way?
There's something like 2.9 million.
There were anticipated 4,000 deaths.
This is so cruel.
It's anticipated 4,000 people.
And who is it that's struggling? The working class. It's the people that work their guts out.
I heard that some of these old people are going to go and commit some crimes to get locked up
I wouldn't be surprised.
because they'll get treated better in jails.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. That's
You know
not
what I
a
mean?
bad plan. Unfortunately, that's not a bad plan.
A survival, isn't it? Your family can still see
Just
it.
for the winter.
Because the reality is, I know it sounds a little bit sad, but like think about it. You get A-star treatment in there. They get locked up when they get a TV. They get PlayStation, whatever they want. They'll sit and play chess. Like, that's not a bad shout for them if they've got no alternative. I'm not saying it's great.
I mean, it's
It's sad, innit?
just let out 2,000 people early, so I suppose there are 2,000 spaces.
Yeah, I saw one person come out on social media and he was like, "Oh, what'd you get out for?" He goes, "Oh, vehicle crime and fighting." He's out. Joey, with his bloody eggs and bacon, he's committing suicide because he can't even survive. This is fucked up. Sorry for swearing.
But 200 odd people voted for it, bro, and they knew. What we knew. What?
No.
But
What
wait.
was the age of the 200 people that voted? And
You really think they didn't know? That's so sweet. Honestly, that is so sweet that
Think about it.
you're holding on to the humanity of the government.
think about it.
They knew,
think about
bro.
it. They don't know. No.
Bro,
No,
bro.
they-
Okay. Let's come to terms with this. It wasn't hard to know. They knew. They knew. You're telling me that there are people that are in power in this government, members of parliament.
I think they
This
were
is it.
manipulated.
They're-
I think they didn't have a choice.
Okay, let me put you in that situation. All right, if you don't vote for this policy, you're out. We're gonna starve and freeze old people. Vote for it, or you're out.
Right.
You're
hear
gonna
me
vote.
out,
Are you
hear
gonna
me out.
vote for it?
You're a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
At what point can someone go, you have 100% contributed? It's like manslaughter.
Yeah, it is.
So who can here go, hang on a second, prevention's better than the cure. UK courts, I want a magic circle crew to investigate this lot because that I am stopping manslaughter from happening right now. There is a statistic out there that states there are potentially 4,000 people who are going to die as a result of this. Someone somewhere should be saying, hold on a second. If someone's just put a stat out there, legally, we must be able to, as a great nation, prevent that from happening. Sorry, guys, before you launch with this budget thing, I need to investigate it. Stop it now. Because if people are going to die, stop. Wait. Before you pull that trigger, where's the FBI? Who can we pull in somewhere? Someone, surely, if people are going to potentially die from this, how are we allowing it to happen? Surely some lawyer can go, stop. If you do that, you're going down for manslaughter. Because you know it is inevitable that they are going to die from it. Financially, I can prove it. Go on, try me, and get ready for lawsuit coming. Can that happen? I'd love to be a fly on that wall.
Give it a good go.
Can it actually happen?
I think there's parliamentary privilege and stuff like that you can't actually do somebody for manslaughter for changing a law because.
Wow, that's crap. That's horse crap. Surely.
But I like what you've done there.
No, but surely though, we can't allow that to happen when knowingly people are going to die. Knowingly people are going to die. There's a very high chance.
So they knew, man. They knew.
How can you vote for something where people are definitely going to die from?
I mean, and even of those that don't die, they're going to suffer serious hardship. That's what you've done to your own people.
Think about this, right?
That's what you've done to your own people.
But the manipulation.
That have worked.
That I know that young lass in our village. She goes around and shakes the hands of all the elderlies because she sits in old people's homes to get their votes. She stands there on I can't wait for November. You know, on our Remembrance Day. And she's going to be stood with all them same people going, thanks for serving our country. Take the photo of me shaking these old people's hands that I've just voted to cut the money for. Can't wait for that day. Can't wait for them riots to happen.
Yeah, but here's the thing: we need to not encourage it to be personally against certain individuals.
She knows what she's saying. I agree. But right, so how
They do know. They do know what
legally?
they're saying.
Oh yeah, of course they do. So why don't we vote for something else instead?
Something-
Leave that one alone. Let's vote for something else. Right, car tax is going up. Sorry guys, car tax is going up.
Do you know what I mean?
Get the bus. No one's going to die from that. Get the bus instead. Safer. Oh, and green guys will be happy.
Yeah.
Car tax is going up. Sorry. How much is the fuel allowance per person?
300, 400 pounds.
A year?
It's just in October, November they use it to pay the.
Right. Everyone, put that per car. Put it per car.
Yeah. I mean, it would be a burden on a lot of people, but it's so.
Drop a car down. Car share.
Yeah.
Get the bus.
Or just put it on like premium vehicles over a certain value. Just do something, anything. Something that doesn't cause immediate, obvious death and hardship.
Oh my God, it's blowing my mind. They voted to basically put added risk on someone dying. You know what I'd have said? If I was the Chancellor, I'd have said, listen, I've been tasked to put something to you guys that you're going to vote on. Now, just before you do it, I don't want to manipulate, but the big warning at the top states that this increases the chances of death. Go vote.
They knew, bro. They knew. They've been told by everybody.
Right,
Their
if
own advisors
they
told
know
them.
and people die, it's manslaughter. Here's an interesting thought. What we could do, can we do a GoFundMe page?
This is what I was thinking.
Let's do
This
a
is what I
GoFundMe
think.
page, right, to raise the equal amount of money that the government have just cut for the winter fuel allowance.
2 billion. That's what they're expecting to save. So that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to try a campaign that does 2 billion so that every old person can, no means tested, you can just get it, right? Or if it's a smaller amount, then it has to get means tested. So then we have to set up our own benefit system, which seems slightly complicated, but where there's a will, there's a way.
Could we do it?
I think we have no choice but to try. And if we fail, so what? What does it matter if we fail?
Okay, I've got one for you.
If we only raise £1,000, right, at least there's 3 people that we can say, there's your fuel allowance, there's your fuel allowance, there's your fuel allowance, and there's 100 quid.
Lead and inspire. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to recruit at least one person in every major town and city, right? And then get them to set up their localized GoFundMe page or whatever we do. Or I don't know how we do this, right? But if they can promote it as well in every major town and city, if we generate 100 quid, £1,000, 10 grand, 12, whatever, it's going to go to the right thing, isn't it? Why would we do that?
Yeah,
We can recruit people. What we got to do? It's a GoFundMe page, isn't it?
Yeah, let's just start a GoFundMe page. We need to figure out how to administer it. Let's put together a business plan. We're good at that.
Rain's on that. That's mega. I'm excited.